Tonight I'm going to do a beer review. It's from Mangeeknetwork. He sent me a bottle, actually 2 bottles, of his Black IPA. He did in a video where there was apparently some miscalculations, and instead of like 5 gallons of wort he ended up with, it was like 3 or 3.5. So it's a little hoppier, probably a little bit maltier than what he had expected. So we're going to go ahead and try this, and I will give you my unbiased opinion. Like I said, it's always nice to hear somebody say, you know, your beer is delicious and all that stuff. But if there's a fault or anything in it, or something that I like or don't like, I'm going to be honest about it. So I did have one of these the other night, so I wouldn't be totally blind going into this, and I did drink it all. Shame on me. But, and I got a pretty tall glass here. So, let's try this. The first thing I did notice whenever I drank the one from the other night, that this does have really nice carbonation. Maybe almost too much. But, I mean, that's a really nice head. I did pour that rather aggressively. But, kind of a khaki colored head, and the bubbles on that are really nice and tight. It's got a nice light foamy, almost like whipped cream type head on this. The color is a really dark brown. It's not black, but then your black IPAs, I know from reading and from looking at the specs, I guess to say, on these, that they can actually range from almost a pretty light colored brown to almost a black color. It does have nice carbonation coming up from the bottom. So like I said, it's got about 4 fingers worth of head on that. So like I said, it's nice and pillowy. It's a nice pillowy head on there. Now, as I said, this is hoppy, but I don't know if I'll be able to smell through the head. I probably shouldn't have poured it quite as aggressively as I did. You do get a lot of the hop aroma off of this. So like I said, I can even smell through the foam. See what a nice head that is on that? You did a really good job on that. The carbonation is wonderful. I do like a beer that's got a nice foamy, frothy head on it like that, rather than, you know, that kind of film across the top. I would much rather have a beer that looks like this. So I said, it is hoppy, and you can really pick it up in the smell on this. And I know from what I drank it the other night that it's a bitter beer and stuff, and not only because of the hops, but also because of the grains that were used. And probably in stuff that wouldn't have been like that if the water calculations hadn't been off or whatever. So like I said, it wouldn't have been near as body-wise and stuff. I think this is a lot thicker than what a normal black IPA would have been. But you know, actually what this kind of reminds me of, it kind of reminds me of an Old Rasputin. And I know Old Rasputin is like a Imperial Stout, but the way that this turned out, with, like I said, with the water calculations being a little bit off on that, and like I said, your grain bill, since the water was off, your grain bill for the amount of water that you had with this is pretty heavy. So like I said, I would almost call this like an Imperial Black IPA, because like I said, because this, when I did drink it the other night, I'm guessing this, and I don't know if you did the ABV or if you said anything about what you thought the alcohol content was. But I'm guessing this is probably around 7, maybe 8%. Because the one I drank the other night, and I had actually split that between two evenings of drinking that. But I drank about half the bottle, and I'm not kidding, I kind of caught a buzz off that stuff. But it's got a really, and it's not a It's not a floral fragrance for the hops. It's more of a kind of like an herbal, earthy smelling hop. So I'm not sure what you hop this. I really didn't. I watched the video where you talked about the water calculations being off, but I don't think I recall exactly what kind of like grains and hop bill you actually had on this. But it's like an herbal, earthy kind of hop. There may be just a little bit of, maybe just a little bit of kind of a citrus, but really it's more of the earthy herbal smell. Let's get a taste on this. Like I said, this has got a really nice head on it. You did a nice job on that, carbonation-wise. So like I said, it's kind of a khaki color. So like I said, it does leave the lacing on the glass, which is nice. Let's see. Let's run it up a little up the side. Let's see, you can see there. So let's get a taste. And then immediately, right up front on the sides of my tongue, I get a the hot bite on the sides of my tongue and kind of actually towards the back of it. Up front, on the very tip of my tongue, there's a little bit of hot bitterness there. There's some roasty in the grains. It's not like a burnt flavor or anything like that, because it's like my stout or whatever. It's like I've got enough like the black patent and stuff like that in mine where there's almost like a burnt, smoky taste, and this doesn't have that. It's almost more like a brown sugar, kind of a brown sugary taste, almost bordering on molasses, but not quite. It's really dry. It finishes off really, really dry. Which, one of these an evening, for me, would be plenty. I would not call this a session beer by any means, because like I said, I would say this is almost like an Imperial Black IPA, because like I said, this thing is strong. There is a little bit of an alcohol, not really in the smell, but it's got an alcohol. And I noticed the other night from drinking it and stuff, the more it warms up, the more pronounced the alcohol actually is. All in all and stuff, it's a pretty decent beer. It's a little hoppy for my taste. Because like I said and stuff, if you put 5 gallons worth of, figuring out on your hops and stuff, and it was supposed to be for 5 gallons and you ended up with 3, this is pretty much a hop bomb. But I do like how you balanced, I mean, if this would have been the original recipe, like for the 5 gallons, that would have been, I mean, it's balanced now, even at the 3 gallons or 3.5 gallons, whatever it was you ended up with. It's balanced, excuse me, good carbonation. Because they're the roasty, kind of the roasty and the dark roast flavor in this, and the hops pretty much balance each other. It's just a little too overboard for me. It's got a wonderful head on it, and it's got a beautiful color. And the carbonation on this was really nice. And you can see that head is still sticking around, even if I swirled the hell out of it. But I said, it kind of reminds me of Old Rasputin, but the alcohol that the Old Rasputin really gets, it's not quite that alcohol forward on the flavor. So like I said, about one of these a night and stuff, and I'd probably about put me under the table. So, if you could tell me actually what the ABV is on this, I'd be interested to know. So like I said, I'm guessing around 7 to 8%. But all in all and stuff, it's really not a bad beer. So like I said, I think that if the recipe would have come out with the 5 gallons and stuff, that it would have toned it down just a little bit, and it would have been a little milder to drink. It's balance-wise, it's good with the hops and the grains that you've got. It's just a little strong, but it's like I said, I'm gonna give you my honest opinion of it and stuff. It's not a bad beer. It is balanced, but it's just a little too strong. But that's because of the water issue. So anyway, keep brewing. That's wonderful. That's a really nice, beautiful beer. So anyway, I'll finish this slowly. So like I said, I know from the other night when I drank it all and stuff, it's like, whoa. It's like I said, the more it warms up, the more you actually taste the alcohol. So anyway, Mangeeknetwork, thank you very much for the beers. It's like I said, they'll be very much enjoyed. It's like I said, this is a sipper, and I'm going to take my time with this because I'm trying to cook right now, and that might not be such a good thing. So anyway, so thank you very much for the beers. I probably am going to send a couple out your way and stuff. Shoot me your address because I kind of had a hard time reading the handwriting on that. So if you would, could you please shoot me your address, and I've got the IPA that I can send you, and I also have one of the chocolate stouts. I'm completely out of the Irish stout. Apparently I drank more than I thought I did. That's every year beer, so probably this fall I can send you another one. So anyway, thank you very much, and thanks for watching my review, and keep brewing. Enjoy the fruits of your labor. Brew beer.